hair is a tornado. Welcome back to the Mint Couch. We are relaxing today, chilling, eating our Welch's multigrain fruit puffs. They're like cheese puffs, but with fruit instead of cheese, and they're delicious. Today we're going to talk about a much awaited subject, something that people love talking about, asking about, learning about, and that is how to contact your animal spirit guides. So we're going to do animals first, and then we're going to work on spirit guides as a general whole, on the whole. That makes me think of Austin Powers, yes. Anyway, spirit guide can take the form of anything. An animal, a person, an ancestor, a tree, a husband. It can take on any form that you need to learn from at that time, or a form that is protective for you, or anything that's just comforting for you, easy to learn from, or easy to be approached by. I'm doing animals separately because people get really excited. They want to find a protective animal spirit. This whole spirit animal, like, people calling everything from a grilled cheese to a cockroach their spirit animal, and it's really annoying, and I'll have a video about that on Sunday when we're drinking our mint tea. But today we're just going to talk about how to actually find an animal spirit guide. So if you're someone like me who really enjoys learning about animals and studying the biology of animals and just loving animals in general, this will be very easy for you. When I personally started my journey and looking for an animal spirit guide, it took me, I think, probably about a year, maybe 2 years to find my first animal spirit guide. It can happen very quickly for you, or it can take a very long time. If you're open to having it happen organically, a lot of times people will just pick an animal that they like and like, that's the animal that's my spirit guide. That's how it is. And I mean, you can do it that way if you want. Huh? Oh. Okay. I think doing it that way makes it a little bit harder to find an organic connection. I'm not saying that picking your own animal guide won't work. I'm just saying that having it happen organically is more lucrative to your learning. Let's put it that way. When you decide to start working with magic and working on your spiritual journey, you have to let go of all expectation of what you want to happen. You can't just make decisions like this is going to be this way, that's going to be that way. You have to just be open to what's happening, because that way when you do receive messages and you do see symbols and signs in your everyday life, you can recognize them a lot easier if you're not forcing your own energy on them. Do you know what I mean? But let's just get right into how you can find these animal spirits. So what I would suggest for everybody who does not work with animals all the time, get some nature books, some books about different types of animals, bugs, insects, North American animals, South American animals, just animals around the world, and have a look in all those books. When I started my journey, I had to study those books for probably a couple of months. Since we are not people who live outside in nature and who these spirits and animals can just come to, like, you're not gonna sit in your living room and a chipmunk's gonna come in your house and be like, hey, it's me, let's go. So you have to go through and kind of study these animals, study different types of animals, so that you're not locking yourself down with 10 animals. So watching nature videos and nature channel, and just get on there and study different animals and find out how they work and how they live, if they live in packs, if they're singular, if they're solitary. Finding out the traits of these animals will help you to find these traits within yourself and see which ones are really compatible with your spirit. After doing that, go ahead out into nature. Open yourself up to the idea that pterodactyl. Okay. Open yourself up to the idea that you can find this animal anywhere. If you have a park near you, go to the park and just drop your boundaries and just let yourself feel the air on your skin, hear the bugs buzzing, hear the birds twerping. Just let yourself be free and just chill and just be quiet and be still, and maybe think of qualities about yourself that you like to change, or qualities about yourself that you enjoy, and see if those qualities can kind of reach out feelers into the universe and find something that's compatible that will come to you. You may not have anything happen to you that first day, but just remember, our spiritual journeys are a journey. It takes a long time sometimes to find answers that you're looking for. Then you can start working with meditation. Try not to think of any specific animals in your head or any specific anything. Just think about the qualities that you're wanting to work on. Think about the kind of magic you want to do, and get some crystals to meditate with, or you don't have to, but if you do want to meditate with crystals, I can offer some suggestions of crystals that you can work with that will help open you up to finding your animal guides. The first one I think of is celestite. Celestite is great for angelic communication if you're someone who works with angels, but also just communication with different realms. So working with celestite and meditating with celestite will help for you to open up the lines of communication with your spirit guides so that they can come to you and show you, boom, this is what you're looking for. Angelite is also really good for that. You can use amethyst. It's just going to help for you to open up your third eye so you can see a little bit more into different dimensions and to awaken you spiritually. You can also use any kind of stones or crystals that are good for working with earth energy. So I suggest moss agate, which is my favorite. Everyone knows I always suggest moss agate. Lapis lazuli is also really great for helping to open up that part of communication in your mind. Rainforest jasper. Rainforest jasper is also a really great one to work with if you're working with animal guides. Lodolite is great for working with nature spirits, so it's also going to draw in any kind of animal energies from that. I mean, I could go on with how many crystals can help you to find your animal guides. It's up to you. You can go ahead into the crystal realm, go to a crystal shop and think about what it is that you're trying to do, and just go ahead and touch and feel and gather and find some crystals that feel like they're going to help you with that task. Set up a little space dedicated to finding your animal guides. If you have a permanent altar in your space, set up that altar for that purpose if it doesn't have a purpose already. If it does have a purpose already, you can set up a separate altar, or you can add a small space on your altar that's dedicated to finding your spirit guides. As always, I would suggest making a candle that's dedicated to this purpose. You can dress your candle with any kind of intuitive herbs or oils, anything that's going to help to heighten your mind. I'll list a few of those here too if you don't know. I would suggest using either a white, brown, or purple candle, or blue. Blue is also great because it'll help with communication. Write down a list of your personality traits, not just traits that you would like to have. Write down the traits that you have right now. If you're stubborn, write that you're stubborn. If you cry a lot, write down that you're very emotional. You write down the traits that you have because that will help in finding an animal that is compatible with you. Put that little list with your candle, underneath your candle. You can even write them on your candle if you have like a glass candle, or you can carve them into your candle. Put your list with that candle. If you have any crystals or stones that are going with that magic working as well, put that with it. A lot of times when people are finding their animal guides, they do it while they're sleeping. You can also find your animal guide while you're walking down the street, honestly, but I do a lot of magic with dreams, and so almost every animal guide that has come to me in a dream. And when I say every animal guide, I mean you're gonna have several animal guides. Sometimes people just stick with one for their entire life, but I'm telling you, there are guides all around us, and once we open ourselves up to magic, they are trying to pop in wherever they can. Say, hey, 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 I have something to teach you. Hey, 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 pay attention. So if you're closed off and you're thinking you only have one, you're not going to be receiving these messages. And that's something that you have to be open to as well. That's why I say drop down your boundaries and your walls, because there will be an animal that comes to you where you're like, no. The animal's like, yes, honey, it's time. There is always a time in your life when you need to learn from something specific, and so that's what will approach you first. After that, who knows? You can have all kinds of beautiful, wonderful, crazy animal guides that come to you, flying through the air, running through the ground. There are so many things that you can learn outside of this life that will come to you as soon as you're open to it. So just be open and ready for it. So think outside of the box. Don't be afraid to get weird. Don't be afraid to explore different parts of yourself, and just be open. That's why we suggest reading loads and loads of books about animals, because it may not be something that you're thinking about. It can be an axolotl. It can be literally anything. So have a great time on your search. If you have any other questions, please ask me in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Instagram and Etsy. I'll put all my handles along here, some in some spot. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful journey. And if you do have a story about finding your spirit guide, let me know in the comment section. This is one of my favorite subjects, so please, let's have a chat. Okay, goodbye.